Good morning. It is Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. Just sitting here waiting for that little 1100 to come up, and no one's on yet. That's okay. I just sent out a notice at 10 o'clock. I think it was about 10 o'clock. I didn't want to do it too early because I didn't want somebody to forget, and then I didn't want to do it too late. So I'll wait for a few seconds for somebody to get on, because at your place it may not be 11 o'clock yet. Okay, there's one. Good. Okay. I always think when there's nobody on, did I hit the right button? Even though I see that little red live button, I just still sometimes wonder, did I get on? Okay, yay, Tammy. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining. Okay, there's another one. Okay, at least I know that I got on the right place. Okay, 3 weeks in a row. For y'all that know me, I'm not consistent. So for me to do this 3 weeks in a row is like, that's a good goal. So I'm glad that I am here. I've already gotten up this morning, had a shower. Another reason I did it today is because I had a shower. Got a shower today. Doing it tomorrow, I may not have a shower. And then this morning, my husband and I went to Costco already. Got home, and so I'm excited to be with y'all today, and thank y'all for being with me. Hey, Robin, Patricia, I appreciate y'all being on here. I'm trying to think of things that everybody can use or maybe has access to make some small little craft home decor things that people like to do. They're good for gifts. So anyway, this is something that I love to make. Let me back up a little bit. I love to find old frames, especially at a garage sale or an estate sale, Goodwill, just anything where you can find some old frames. Well, several months ago, I love to do auctions also. So I found an auction for a company that was it was a framing company that was going out of business, I think they were retired. They were older people. They were retiring, and so I saw that they had these big boxes of frames, like 5x7s, 8x10s, just picture frames. And they were frames that they were using in to make frames for people. So there was a framing company. And I won 2 big boxes of frames in that auction. So I've been trying to figure out what to do with all of them. And so this is one of the things I like to do. And this is something that you can do, and it's got, you can change it up and make it exactly like you. Because again, the thing is we want to do you. You do you, I do me, but these are some great inspiration, good ideas. So anyway, this, if you saw my picture already, this is, there we go. Just a regular frame. This one has a back on it. A lot of the ones I got at the auction do not have backs on them. So that's kind of something you have to figure out how to do. But anyway, this is a 5x7. And if you look, it was just a plain old frame, and just nothing to it. It was slick. So I did need to put a primer on it to make sure that I could, adhere, pieces to it. But anyway, just want you to see, this is what I'm going for. Now, today I'm going to change up the colors, but this is what I'm going for, okay? So I'm going to move it down so you can see better. Another thing I want to do today is I just kind of want to show you some tools that I use. Some people have asked me, how do I do this, or where did this come from, or whatever. So I wanted to show you, sorry, this is not straight. Show you some tools that I use, just some fun things that I've accumulated over the years that it kind of help make this easier if possible. I've gone old school and used cardboard, whatever I needed to use to, get my stuff down. But this right here, I just want to start out with this. This is a craft mat. I think it's a Ranger craft mat, and it's slick. So you can do embossing. There's just so many things, and hopefully one day I'll kind of show you those things too. I am a Dixie Belle retailer, a Dixie Belle paint retailer, premier retailer. So all the paints that I use, everything is a Dixie Belle, but there are some things that Dixie Belle doesn't make. So of course, I do use other products like those things, but then I will show you. But anyway, this is a Ranger craft mat. My husband just cut a piece of plywood for me, and I just taped it, and then used a double-sided tape to tape it down. But anyway, it's slick, so you can paint on it, whatever, and I mean, you just wipe it off, and it's great. You can use your heat gun on it. It's just a really neat thing. So anyway, I couldn't tell you what size it is. I'm so sorry. I think they only come out with one craft mat, but I'm not for positive about that. But I've had this one forever, and it's seen some use, but I love this thing. Okay, so here's like one of the frames that this will just kind of start us out. This is just a plain old frame, so you can just see. I'm trying to get, you know what, I probably need to turn my iPad on. Hang on one second so I can see what I'm doing. It went off on me. I mean, so sorry, y'all. There we are. Okay. All right. So anyway, this is just a plain frame, and those are the kinds I really like to be able to do this on. You know, a lot of them are really ornate, and all those are beautiful and all, but just to do this particular thing, I just use a plain frame. Okay. And these are called IOD, which is Iron Orchid Design molds. You can get them on Amazon, Dixie Belle. We do sell some of them through Dixie Belle. They have a partnership with IOD molds. Some of them, and I kind of come and go. It just depends on what's available. So I'm not always don't always have access to all of them. But this one I particularly like for small frames. And there's this one. This is the one I'm going to be using right here. It's just long enough and wide enough. Okay, and these are silicone. They're rubber. When I get them, I've got literally a boatload of them. But I just write on there. I wish I could remember to turn that around. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't turn that or forget to do that. Anyway, I just write on the back what it actually is, so that I can refer back to it. Okay. Another, when I used to make these molds, I always used paper clay. This is a really good product. You can get it on Amazon. Just create a paper clay. It's just paper, but it's moist, and it turns into, it is a clay, but it's just, you just can make it into whatever you want. Then when it dries, it will be rock hard. Redesigned by Prima has come out with their kind of the same thing, but it's just got a little bit different texture. So I just got this, and so I'm using it, and so I'm gonna use it today. But I really do like it. It comes like this, and with little rolls, little rolls, and it just comes with a twisty tie on it in a bag. It seals up really tight, really good. But today I'm just gonna. It's less messy. It's not as flaky. So. And if you have any questions about any of these things, just again holler at me and I will respond. Okay, but this is what it is. It's kind of like Play-Doh. It doesn't have the Play-Doh smell in it, but it's it's real flexible. Okay, so I just get out. I don't know. I get out just however much. Roll it. You kind of just smush it together. It's got just like a little bit of a rubbery feel to it. But just depending on what kind of mold you're going to put it in. I just hope y'all can see me. Pull it back. So I'm going to, okay, so you just push it down in there. And again, these are just tools that I've accumulated over the years. This is just a round cylinder. It's got plexiglass, so it doesn't stick as much. Let me back up. I did forget this. I don't always do this, but sometimes I do. It just kind of depends on the temperature, whether it's how moist it is in the air. But this is cornstarch, and a lot of times I will take a artist brush with a good size head on it, and I will dip it in there, and then I will dip it in my mold, and it helps it to pop out a little easier. So just another little tip. Okay, so I just take and do this. Sometimes I'll use my paint can. if I don't have that readily available. You can take anything that's round, just take and roll it, okay? And then you just take and kind of remove what didn't go down into the mold. And then I just kind of roll it again. Whoop. The best way to do it is you roll, well, let's see. Get that back down there. Is to roll this way and off, and then put it back on and roll this way back to you. I pulled out some, and I did it the wrong way. And when if you have one of these, or you get one of these, you can literally just, it's really soft and very pliable. So you just kind of use your finger until you see that you've got it down in the mold, and you don't have any coming outside of the mold, because it will come with it when you release it. And what I do, usually if I'm making one for each side of my frame, I'll usually make all 4 of them at one time. Just kind of set them aside. Then I glue them on, okay? Okay, so it's in there. And I'm just going to turn it upside down and take and roll it. Really easy. Voila. So it's out. It cleans up really easy. And then you've got your mold. Isn't that cool? So, and then if there's anything that's, extra that you didn't want to be there, you can easily take a little X-Acto knife and cut that out. You can remove it, you can smush it down in there, and it's ready to go, okay? So I'm not gonna sit here and make all 4 of them with you, because like I said, you've got the gist of it. I am gonna put this back. The one thing to do is I don't want to waste any of it if I don't have to. So I'm just going to put it back in my thing, put my twisty back on it, because I want it to stay nice and moist. Put it on. You just want to pop it on, make sure it's on. Okay, so the next thing I do is I use any kind of wood glue, but this is Tie Bond wood glue, what I have available. And I just take my mold, just put just a smidgen, or, just enough on there. And then I take my finger and I make sure that I get all the, go all the way to the edge with it. You don't want to glob it on, but you at least want it to adhere, have enough to adhere. And I just make sure all my edges are covered. And then this is another little tool I have. This is a cutting mat. So you can literally cut with a X-Acto knife or any kind of cutting on here. You can do it and I can't remember the name. It's, it doesn't cut all the way through, okay? It kind of goes back to the way it was originally meant. But it has all these lines on it. I love that. So I just line it up. However much, wherever my measurements are. so I can find out where my center is. 'Cause I'm a terrible measurer. Numbers are not my thing. I do not like them. I do not like to measure. I do not like math. I do not like numbers, okay? So anyway, I just find out where my middle is. I lay it on. And just real lightly, you just want to touch it just so that you've got good adherence and then it's on there. And then I'll literally just kind of walk it around, see where my gaps are. I don't mind there being gaps as long as the majority of it's adhered, glued down. Because you will have some gaps, but to me, that's okay. Because when you paint, you're not going to see all that, okay? This will dry rock hard. It will glue down. If you get glue where you don't want it, you can easily take a baby wipe and glue that. Take care of that and move that away. But anyway, there's just that. So even if you were just to do one thing on there and that's all, depending on all the molds that are out there, you can get molds everywhere. I know people that even actually make their own molds, but I haven't done that. But then at this point, you could do this. This is good. You're good to go. Okay, so that's that. Okay, this one I'm going to show you how. I've already done the molds on here. These were just some molds that I made yesterday. It is hard. This right here again is slick stick because these frames were those really fancy frames. So I just put slick stick, which is a Dixie Belle product, put slick stick on it, and then set it overnight, and then you come back and you cannot even scratch it off because it's a great adherence and it helps your paint to adhere. So I just put these little molds on. Yes, one of them is cracked, but I like that. Some people don't like that, so if you don't like that, you could always use your glue gun to make these. You could use your glue gun in there, and of course that those won't crack. But I like this look. Okay, so what I do next is Dixie Mud. Hopefully I'm telling you all these different things. If I miss something, let me know. Okay, Dixie Mud is a texture paste. Before I use a lot, like right now, I know I've got several people that are reaching out to me saying, I don't have these products, and what can I use instead? So there's usually always another product that you can use that you've got on hand. Before I found Dixie Belle, I love texture paste, I use joint compound. And so Dixie Mud is a softer texture paste. Joint compound is a little firmer. It dries harder. It's still a great thing to use, but this is a little softer. When you paint over it, it's rock hard. But it's great for repairs. If you want to repair cracks in your furniture, any kind of repair is really good for. It's great for running through stencils to create a raised stencil. Trying to think of all the different things. If anybody, Dixie Belle is out there, retailers out there, if you think of other ideas, if you'll shoot those in the comments, that'd be great. But anyway, I love to use it for pure texture. So one thing about this stuff is you don't want to put it down your drain. So when I get through with using my hands or a tool, I always use like a baby wipe or a paper towel to wipe it off. Just don't want to put it in the drain because it could clog your drains, and we don't want that. But anyway, I always stir it. I also always keep mine in the refrigerator. Back in the day when they first came out with this, there would tend to be mold. Some mold would be around the edges, and so they did go in and put a mold inhibitor in there now, so that's not an issue. But out of habit, and two, I kind of like the firmer texture of it and being in the refrigerator. So that's just another idea, okay? But anyway, I just always take mine. Sometimes it's got like some like water in there at the very beginning if I haven't used it in a while, and so I just like to stir it up just to get it all in there. But anyway, you can see this is it's really like frosting kinda. And that's the way I do it on this frame. So I just take a palette knife and just get some on there. And I literally just act like I'm frosting a cake. and add that texture in there. I'll just do one side, not to bore y'all, but this is, you can, there's just so many things. You could even roll it, put if you have a stamp or anything that's has any kind of indentions, you could smush that. You need to squirt it with water, the stamp, and then you could create impressions in this as well. I just like this look. And then you just clean it up. And you can smooth it out wherever you want to smooth it out. It can, as it dries, it will get flaky and powdery kinda. Kind of a little bit messy, but you see that? So you just do that all the way around the frame, and then then you let it set and you let it dry. Depends on where you are located, how the temperatures are like. But I usually do it and then let it sit overnight, and the next day it's rock hard. If there's peaks or things in there that you don't like, you can, at the beginning right now, I could easily just smooth those down. And then, if there's anything I don't like after it's hardened, then I can take some sandpaper or a little sanding sponge. But you want to do it very, very lightly, because when you do it, it will become like powder. And until it has a sealer on top of it, it can be reactivated because it's a water-based product and does not have a sealer in it. But once you paint on it and seal it, it will be rock hard, okay? Like this is rock hard. It's not going anywhere, okay? And again, just a baby wipe or paper towel to clean up. Okay, so this one is one that I did yesterday. I painted it purple. I know I have some friends that love purple, and I usually am a blue or green girl, but friends of mine love purple, and so I thought, in honor of them, I think I'm going to do this in purple. This is a really pretty purple. This is amethyst, Dixie Belle's purple color. It mixes really well with our lucky lavender. So this one I painted this morning, and so it's still, I've dried it. It's just a little bit damp still. It's, one way you can tell if something's dry or not, even though it's dry and it's not coming off of my hands, if you touch it and it's still cool, that means there's water still in it, and it's still, it's not completely dry. But for this purpose, it'll work for me. Okay. Some people have asked me about some people will ask me how I do something, and I usually will say, okay, on my first coat, I do full coverage. This is full coverage, but not really, because there's so many little areas for the paint to have to get into, and I just was running out of time this morning, and so I didn't dig my brush into all those places, but that's okay, because I'm going to use that white that's in there here in a few minutes. In the end, okay? But anyway, but my second coat, a lot of times I'll say, I didn't do that full coverage. And so this is what that means, okay? Again, this is Lucky Lavender. This is a Paint Pixie brush. It's their little D, their little dusty brush. I'm a Paint Pixie retailer as well. I love their brushes. I love Dixie Belle's brushes. I love these brushes as well. This is a natural bristle brush. It's just got a little handle on it. It doesn't have a handle, but it's just got a good grip. I had carpal tunnel a few years ago, had surgery, and I'm totally recovered. But this is still just I really like the way this handle is. Okay, this brush, a lot of times I'll tell you, brushes need to be dampened, and it just kind of helps the Dixie Belle paint go on better. But when I'm dry brushing-ish, or I'm doing like not full coverage, I won't always dampen my brush. But, so I'm just putting on, you know, so much. I mean, here, like that, okay? And I'm trying to get this close enough for y'all to see. So, you know, some places will be heavier, some places not, but you can still see the amethyst coming through. I'm doing this too because I want it to dry fast. So, and not be soaking wet for this purpose and normal purpose, just because I tend to be impatient. Always ready to move on to the next thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way around this because I want to show you how we're gonna finish this. We didn't start it because there were so many different pieces to this that needed to dry, but I want to at least finish it with you so you can see what I used to complete it. And I didn't really put that much paint down at all. Okay. Seeing places that I sort of kind of missed. So that's it. That's about all the coverage that I want on it. Because again, I want that dark to shine through, come through. So real quick, I'm going to dry it. Already dry. And real quick, this is a heat gun. It's a little heat gun. Oh gosh, it's a dark DARICE heat tool. Love this thing. You can use it for embossing. You can use it for drying. You can use it for so many things. And it's very inexpensive, and I really like this tool. Okay. So once I get to this point, I use a baby wipe, and I'm gonna just kind of pull back some of that Lucky Lavender color. Probably dried it too much. It's gonna. If you do it, yeah, I should have let it not dry. I should not have dried it as much. I should have just probably let it go. But it's gonna. You're gonna start to. If you push it too much, pull too much, you're gonna start pulling some of the mud off. But it's good to make mistakes on here because you need to be able to see that too. Can't always do everything exactly perfect. Unfortunately, I didn't put a whole lot of paint on here, so it is a little easier to pull off. So again, you can pull it off however much you want. You can leave, you can go darker, you can change out your colors. I would always like to usually go as dark to light, but again, you can go light to dark, either one. If you want to put light color down first and then put your dark color on top, it's just whatever your preference is, okay? All right, now I'm gonna just this is fluff. This is used to be Dixie Belle's white, but now they came out with cotton, which is their stark white, pure white. So this is got just a little bit of it looks kind of like off-white compared to the white, but like I said, it really is a good white color if you're looking for a neutral color. So it's pretty white. And this I'm just going to dilute down. So this is a spray bottle, mister bottle that I have, and I just spray it down. I want it, it's almost like a whitewash. You could use a whitewash glaze for this if you've got whitewash glaze. I just chose paint. Still don't think I got it wet enough. I like it pretty wet. I mean pretty watery. And I'm gonna just wash over this. I forgot to mention on the mud. The mud comes in white, black, and brown. The black is not a black, but it's more like a kind of a charcoal color. So if you wanted to not use black and you wanted something darker, we do have those other colors. Okay, now that I've got it kind of whitewashed, then I'm gonna go back, and it's not dry, so I'm gonna start kind of pulling back some of that white. But I wanna leave it in all those some of those little grooves. See? And I'm just kind of rubbing it lightly. Because I really don't want to reactivate the mud. See that? I'm gonna hit it with a dryer real quick. No, I'm gonna. Okay, gonna let that sit and let that dry just another few minutes. Okay, now I want to show you, clean my hands. Okay, so what I like to do in the middle part, there's so many ideas, and hopefully y'all's brains are really kicking in there and figuring out and saying, oh my gosh, I got that and that and that I could put in there. Of course, you can always put photos, always. I love to find old photos, you know, family photos, back to my grandparents, great-grandparents' days. But also, I just love just the old photos. So you could put that in there. What I like to do is I've got boatloads of scrapbook paper. And I've got boatloads of old jewelry. And I love to go just find bags of old jewelry. And then, you know, old earrings, and clip off the backs, and then just use those on pieces. But anyway, this is just a piece of chipboard that I cut down to size for this frame. And I have scrapbook paper like nobody's business. I probably have, I'm just shouldn't have as much as I have. But you know, when you find them half price, or you know, see somebody selling, you know, a big old book of them for $1, you gotta go with it. So anyway, this is just a piece of, this cool looking. This is purple, like alligator, like, which is perfect with this color. So I just cut this down to size. It's just scrapbook paper, and I have this tape, double-sided tape. It's called score tape, and it's real thin. And I forgot my scissors. Oh, here they are. I just put sometimes it tears, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it doesn't. But it's really sticky, which is good. Just smash it down. Then it just peels up. Sometimes easier than others. Now I just put my scrapbook paper down. Okay. And that's ready to go. Now I'll be able to put that in the back. I had these, found these at Hobby Lobby. They're little crosses. They're just the right size for a 5x7 frame. And they have a little hook on them on the back where you could hang them on the wall or hang them somewhere. But I just always take that off. And then I use, you know, I'm gonna do this. Put that on there in a minute. Okay. The last thing I do on this frame, I'm jumping around here. Okay, last thing I do on this frame, it is still a little damp, but I think this is gonna work. Dixie Belle has gilding wax in little jars. However, I do not have any more gold. I've used it all. And they're reformulating their gilding wax. So, but they haven't come out with the new ones yet. So, I mean, this is Prima. This is a Prima metallic, and it's vintage gold. So I'm using it instead, since that's what I've got. And this little pouncer thing, I get this is a tulip. I think I get this off Amazon. I use my finger a lot with the gilding wax, but a lot of times I'll use this. It just kind of depends. So I just get it on there like so. And very lightly, I hit some of the raised areas. I just kind of hit and miss, but especially around the edges. These little things just work. You know, again, your fingers work great, but if you got a little pouncer, it seems like I have a little bit more control with this because it tends to really hit the high spaces, raised areas better. Kind of play around with it. Okay, see that? So you can see the dark purple coming through. You can see the light purple. You can see the whitewash. And now you can see the gold. A minute ago when I was rubbing, I rubbed some of the paint off and it got down to the mud. But I'm going to embrace that imperfection, and that can just be part of it because there's so much whitewash on here. I think there's another spot right there. Yeah, right there. But that's okay. It just makes it look like even more worn. So when you look at this piece, it looks like something that was created, to me it does, a long, long time ago, and then the paint just starts to wear off. And you're enhancing that, you know, the paint that's worn off, the gold that's worn off, but yet it's all layers. It's just layer upon top of layer. Okay. So now I'm going to attach, and I will, look at the back of this. Isn't this a mess? Yeah. I'll clean that up. I'll sand that down after it's all good and dry. But I'm just going to put my cardboard piece in here, and look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay. And because it doesn't have a back, that's okay. It's in there. Another little tool, another little yummy thing I have. These are glazer push pins, or push points. This is what you use like when you have those old windows and the glass, you see the glass inside those frames. A lot of times they'll use these. So they're just like little, got a little air there, you can see. And I'm just going to take this and I'll lay it down with a screwdriver. And I'm just going to, push it in. And it's going to hold the back onto here. So I'll put one in each corner, in each side. Right now, I'm just going to do two, just to show you. I'll go back. And it just holds it in. So it's in, it's in. Now I just have to decide which I want for my front to top to be and my bottom to be, and it doesn't really matter because they all come look the same. So I'm going to put my cross in here. Oh, another thing I didn't bring. Oh, yes I did. Yes I did. Yes I did. Because I don't have. Now you can buy. I haven't. I've thought about buying like kind of like I think you can buy them like in a bulk. You can buy these backs. If you come across frames that don't have them on it, you can buy these, just the backs themselves. But you got to know what sizes you need. And to me, every back hole is different. So I just haven't pursued that. But I have thought about just going ahead and putting a hanger on here and hanging them. And I just have these, just a bulk of these things that right here. And I usually just put one on up here at the top, and then somebody can take and hang it. So if you've got booths, these are great things to make and put in your booths. And then you can put these in different places, just on the wall, wherever, just to put into vignettes. This one won't because it's, well, no. But it definitely could stand up against something if you wanted it to. Okay, so anyway, here's my cross, and I'm just gonna put it in the middle. E6000, love, 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 love this stuff. It will just about glue anything to anything. I don't use a whole lot. I just just enough. I don't want it oozing out, so it'll stick, it'll hold. It's amazing. It's a little stinky, And I'm just gonna try to eyeball this. Guess it would help if I put my glasses on. Okay, I want that to be my top. And yes, I could measure this if my husband was out here, he'd be saying, measure that. But he's not, so. Okay, voila, it's done. And so in here, you could put jewelry, brooches. It is just, I love 3D, anything that's raised, anything that has any texture. So you could, here, I'll try to flip this back up so you can see it like this. You can put this, you can put any, whoops, it was sliding because I did that, sorry. Because it's not glued in yet. But you could put just anything in here, anything that's 3D that you can think of. Let your imagination run wild. Because you could change this up and you could never have the same one twice. You could do just different colors, you can do different molds, you can do different textures. You can do, different pieces in the middle, whatever you like in the middle. Gosh, I mean, my brain is going faster than my mouth can go. So I just want to encourage you to find things that you can put in here. I love to find old hardware. Love old hardware. Clean it up, patina it a lot of times, and then you can put that inside here. Just anything that means something to you, or you think that would mean something to somebody else. Just you put that in, and then, like I said, it's good to go. That is, and it's a great little gift if you wanted to give a gift. So I think that's it. I'm not seeing any comments, y'all. I am so sorry. I do not know. I have not figured out. Okay, I think so. I do see comments, but I don't see any questions. If you've got any questions, yeah, hard to imagine that started as a flat frame. Each layer does bring out more beauty. So if you have any questions when you watch this, if you have something that I left out or something that you think of that you say, oh my gosh, she didn't say that, but I think this would be a great thing to put it in there for us all to be inspired by and to add to our thought process. I just love how our brain works, and I love how that we can just take something, and while we work on it, when I work on it, I know that when you work on it, we go, oh, that was an inspiration, but how can I make it me, or how can I make it something else? Because again, we're each given. I always have this. I just had a devotion one time that this was just buried in my brain. It was such an eye opener for me, and I always try to say it. It's my brain, my eyes, and my hands. And it's your brain, your eyes, and your hands. So you may see me do this, but your brain and your eyes and your hands are going to create it totally different than I did. And that's what's so awesome about us, you, me, all of us, is that we are so different, and we can take things that are inspired by others and then make it our own. And so I just want to encourage you to do that, because it is so much fun, and it is so it's so encouraging, and it's uplifting, and it just helps us to see that God created us to be creative individuals. So I just encourage you to find that creative bent if you haven't, and if you have, keep on keeping on and use it, and just keep on expounding. And I love to go back and see where I first started way back in the day and see how far I've come. So I would just encourage you to do that. I hope that this helped you. I hope that this gave you something to think about and to work on in this time that we're still kind of in shelter in place. And just be encouraged and look for positives, and remember that hold on to what you know. So hope you all have a good day, a good week. It is a beautiful week here. I hope that it's a beautiful week there. And just look for things to be thankful for. And I am so thankful for y'all, and thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate you more than you know. If you have any questions, holler at me, write them, and put them in the comments, and I will get back to you. I promise. Okay? Thank y'all. Bye.